Thank you so much, Zoe and the desk. Yes, is this going to be the kickoff that FlyQuest can claim? Well, we're going to find out on Breeze, or is this going to be a reverse sweep situation? I mean, man, the Game Changers scene, it's always the expect the unexpected, but Blue Water definitely need that mental reset after what we saw in Pearl.
I'm hoping that it's going to lean towards the unexpected right now, because if it's going towards the expected, this should be an easy victory for FlyQuest on Breeze. Blue Water have yet to find any victories whatsoever on this map of Breeze. And also when they had to play against a chamber on this map, it was none other than Starbound of Wadada, where they kind of just threw away that map 2-13. And I think what was the pain point of how Blue Water was executing or trying to work around that map was, especially on their attack side, not doing enough macro to block the vision and the sights of the op, and Starbound just went to town. This could be very similar stories onto Edith as well with the chamber for this side, especially again, they're starting on the defensive rounds. So you're hoping here that Blue Water, especially if they're starting off on mid, they need to throw some smokes here towards that top mid or that middle. You see that start place right now. So it's a great start, but now that you have smokes on both sides, you can't really find good control towards middle. So that's why the drone has to come out early.
Oasis is one of her best performing agents on Jet, highest ACS, and she's got to deliver when Blue Water needs to the most. And with the bandit, Sin, friends try to rob their way into B, and Melia and Thea just put up a brick wall. Like, first blood, you think that just is how you get everything rolling for Blue Water, and they just get kicked in the teeth. What the heck?
This is a tough look too, because as much again that unfortunately I was criticizing Thea on the first couple of rounds on the first map, and second you started seeing some high impact rounds from Thea from Pearl onto like end of Pearl onto this one. I think one of them was trying to flood through on the attack side, just pushing towards the spawn, getting picks. This time around, feeling fully activated on the pistol, but you definitely saw that FlyQuest had a read of this mid push to B. They already had a 3-player stack on that side, and they got ready for that push, and it was brilliant.
Oh no, it's average. It's a disaster. And at least these anti-ecos go by very, very fast.
Yes.
Very, very fast. And
yes.
But this is the type of fast anti-eco that I feel like started the mental boom for Blue Water, because it was off of that Judge Ace that Melia pulled off from FlyQuest. But it's experience and tenacity that are gonna pull through when the rounds don't start off your way like this.
But look at it. We had from one map Edith Outlaw with Op to another map where it's Melia with an Outlaw. This time it's Jazzikins with an Outlaw. And now in their bonus round, they're playing 2 Outlaws and a Guardian. So they're definitely leveraging the layout of the map and how Breeze was going to be as kind of like a big open area, very deathmatchy and easy to take picks from because of these lines of sights that are tight corridors and easy for sniper rifles to take advantage of. And they definitely want to do that against the gun round of Blue Water, especially if we haven't had any big plants coming through from Blue Water in the first few rounds. You see that with the investment of buying full shields, knowing that they have to play against the Outlaw. Look what you have. No shot guards for Avery, no second flash already for Battison. This is a very tough look for them to try to take map control right now for sight hits.
Ooh, just the kneecap there on Avery, but it's mostly fine. It's like they didn't even take damage. It looked like a connection to me, but FlyQuest will have to fall back to their regular positions. Blue Otter really like that mid-map control, and they'll try to converge into B once again. But the Viper's wall that you gotta work through, though, it's not gonna be easy. So Blue Otter gonna side the drone into A. They have Battison right through main, so a lot rests on Melia's shoulders, but with such a dependable anchor back on Pearl, and it starts out Thea's way just to shut down the lurk from B, so all eyes are on this A site. It's Melia, oh, the shotgun to the clone. They fall for it too. Blue Water, now well established here on A.
They would have had damage on Avery too. How does Avery have still 150 on that jump spot? Nonetheless though, here's that aggressive push right after as they flood towards the A site, and they cut the full rotates. The scopes, the snipes are not going to be able to do anything for FlyQuest, and it comes down to the Guardian and the Vandal of Jazzikins and Thea. Both down.
I like that Blue Water are getting proactive on the post point. Like, they're going right for the entries that FlyQuest are trying to get through.
Yeah, they already had an idea as well when that Poison Orb came up here towards that default spot, which is such a good way to play this, actually, on how the changes of Breeze happen on the A site. You see also Boaster coining that really on that side for Fnatic when he's placing these front side smokes as Astra. So you have the whole back line of the A site to play as an area for you to dodge util and flashes from your own smoke, but also force your players to play in that gulag so that Bucky could have done some good damage. But unfortunately, it's only half damage that was done and still allowed Blue Otter to overcome the denial attempt from FlyQuest. This is still a good gun round for Fly. An op in the hands of Edith, fully watching towards the elbow, and now players could start rotating over towards this A site and stack up on there because they feel they're not going to be pressured at all. I think with this angle from Edith, maybe you hear a jump down towards the window, so they feel like the B site is fully open.
And Edith was a force to be reckoned with when it came to that op on Pearl. Just such a menace, and I didn't feel like Blue Otter had too many occasions to get an op of their own, if at all. Now you just have to dry peek into it and teleport out. Not gonna be easy to clear back. At least you know maybe the op is gonna be at the left side of the map. Blue Otter prioritize more mid control, but now have to maybe take the safer route through main. 3 stacked here on A for FlyQuest. It's going to be quite a challenge for Blue Otter. Now off the recon. FlyQuest, no. The entry is there. Oasis trying to be the opener and the closer and just can't really rustle through. But Madison at least gets a trade. There's something there to look at for Blue Otter. You're just not in a safe position to plant. 15 seconds left. Sin has to help out, and Avery's in a 1v2. And Jazzykins dipped out of that fight. Sin gets involved, and Blue Otter pull it off.
Headhunter for Edith, though, in an op. Avery once again does God's work for these clutch moments for Blue Otter. I gotta say, in terms of trying to fight towards that back site, they already had the right numbers for FlyQuest because of that first pick we just saw here. With May falling down as the Astra, you can't throw any pop smokes anymore towards that B-side cross. You now have to try to focus on the Viper wall and just slam towards the site. So all of FlyQuest, they play behind the attacker's Viper wall, but they weren't with each other to trade. There was just like that clone. They got caught by the clone. They got caught by the flash as well from Battison right after the clone. So it's like 2 consecutive flashes that catches some players off guard. And it's just a great job by Battison to isolate 2 individual fights to allow Avery to clutch 3 different 1v1s, if I'm not mistaken, at that moment. So that said, this is now an eco for FlyQuest. A hero rifle from Melia, solo anchoring towards the B site.
There's a walk up from FlyQuest at A. Maybe just for the orb for Jazzykins, and got Blue Otter on watch. You got Edith dead in the water. That frees up the left side, or so you would think. At least you know what to expect, and it is Melia. It's Blue Otter. Now gonna drone up, be as careful as ever. Send the clone into to infiltrate as Jazzykins will help on the approach, hoping to catch one on the entry. No, May gets the best of her as Melia supports the backline, and it's exchanges that still favor Blue Otter. There was some bloodshed despite mostly a save from FlyQuest. Now it's up to Thea on the flank.
Still a nice flick that came out there from Melia, but I think we were missing a little bit there as the drone came through. I felt like we could have maybe called for Thea to throw that smoke up on that top of the ladder, where Ethan likes to play that usually when he's playing Astra on this map. Try to do some damage, gets a dink. At least we'll force armor in the next round, but again, there wasn't enough util to support Melia in a ninja position that she could surprise players with the Vandal purchase that she had on that B site. It could have been deadly, but unfortunately, as she gets drone pinged, she has to fall back, and that space was already lost here from FlyQuest. So an early timeout. Talked about how, again, going into this game, this should be, from the stories of how it was described from Blue Otter in the past 2 times that they played this map, should be an easy victory for FlyQuest. But so far, it came down to a couple of hero plays from Avery from the right side pyramids to Sin on the lurk on the top middle. Sin so far within 2 rounds on when they planted towards that A site had tremendous value playing around the yellow box to draw some players on a rotates, and they got to make sure that if they have to flood retake on that side, that they have to be ready for Sin on those late lurks positions from mid doors over on the pathing of the A site.
Blue Water have a wealth of ultimates to work with, and my experience seeing Cosmic Divides really work well at closing in the B site and making it such a tight space to fight through and advantageous for attackers to split up any defenders there. It could also work at A, but then you already have the Viper's wall there, although FlyQuest have really been disrespecting Sin's setup and just watching down the A choke and not really being too bothered. So we'll see if also FlyQuest can just trade out the Cosmic Device with one of their own to really ensue more chaos into this. And at what point does Jazzykins just help ease the retake with a Dimensional Drift? It's going to be an important round.
It's aggro.
Really
Got this up
aggro.
too, but there's no ult around there. At least to get the spray and the crunch.
Oh my god, this walkdown from FlyQuest, the same type of energy they brought from Pearl, just taking all the map control they can. They get away with more kills than Blue Water. But May, been unspotted here at the middle of the map, or at least FlyQuest are watching the double doors, so they know something's up. May is going in deep all the way through Nest.
It's getting cleared.
Expecting Ev. Oh, and Jazzykins floors her. That would have been a big risk, but a big payout if May could have thrown that spawn into shambles. Now Blue Water will have to play this from front to back and in a 2 versus 4 with an op in the picture.
Poison's up.
Thrown out Oasis. Sightline. Right idea here.
30 seconds left.
For the shoulder and connects onto Melia. A lot of angles they're going to have to scour through, though, with the remaining members of FlyQuest. And in the middle of all this is Jazzykins and Avery as clutch as ever. When Blue Water need them to step up, they do. 13 seconds left to plant, and Edith will be on their way.
They got scared. Didn't like that from FlyQuest at all, but still Edith with the op. 1v1 against another op on the other side. And then they'll have another 1v1 against Avery if they can.
What's to watch? Oh, Oasis versus Edith. And it's Oasis quicker to the trigger. And Blue Water turn around yet another deficit. That was sick.
Yeah, the first look of FlyQuest in terms of the pinch into the A lobby, I love that. I haven't seen any teams do that yet by smoking towards middle, getting that suck at the bottom, and then you also throw the flashes just to keep them at bay. They got numbers advantage out of that one, but then you kind of just left so many passive angles. They fell back from A main to hold towards bricks. They fell back from double doors to hold back passively from orange. And then you are jiggling from the back of the site instead of taking full main control and trying to set up ways where you could ping pong off of each other. And you never gave yourself that chance. 3 individual picks that allowed that 2 versus 4 to get converted by Blue Water. And that's a first huge mistake coming out from FlyQuest. And Blue Water, we talked about how good they've been in terms of tenacity against Wanada yesterday. It definitely shows here that they have not been shook or shaken by the results of that second map of Pearl, and they're still looking really good here on Breeze.
And Edith is already 5 HP, so this is already not off to a good foot for FlyQuest. 4 rounds in a row, unanswered by Blue Water. And excited to see the more ops thrown in, and Edith takes down Sin in mid, but it's not going to be able to recover their weapons. So Blue Water are going to flood in through B. All eyes are on Thea. How to suppress them is not going to be within the smoke, but on the other side of it with the crossfire with Ev, and Blue Water are about to walk across the road without looking both ways. It's good damage from FlyQuest. With Blue Water in firm control. This is what you would think. And Edith with 5 HP has gotten 3 kills this round. This is murder. Avery, do what you do best. Finish this. Now now everyone's dancing around. Jazzykins. Oh, the dimensional drift in the 1v1 to reposition.
I'm back.
No, picks up a
right in front of
Marshall.
Avery. Well, it's a clutch for Avery yet again. Oh my god, how do they keep getting away with this?
Of all the weapons as you're going into Dimensional Drift to try to find something to play the 1v1, it's a Marshall you pick up. That's just unfortunate. You have to respect, though, the way that you swung from Edith to Jazzykins, the back and forth is actually beautiful. Just unfortunate you run out of Headhunter bullets. You also ran out of Sheriff bullets. You currently go for that full trade towards the end. And Avery stays calm one more time in the face of clutch scenarios, and they're able to bring that across the finish line here for Blue Water. Could have been a different story though if it was a Vandal or something picked up here for Jazzikins. But it's a tense moment that gives a little bit of room to breathe this time. Sigh of relief as they're not echoed by FlyQuest being Blue Water. So this round, slow tempo, waiting to see if we're trying to go for another one of these trap plays for FlyQuest. But FlyQuest have different looks. Look at this push here from the chamber all the way up towards B main. Another one of those lines where Edith has full map control, and they could start really focusing on the mid to A pressure.
And Edith has been changing up their position too, so it's been so hard for Blue Water to read and having to contact play through it. Clutch up in the end, which it's been always Edith versus Avery, I feel like, on who could be the most clutch for their team. By the way, former teammates from what the Ghost Gaming and Equinox days, or Berserkers on, should say. Anyway, well, let's focus on Blue Water, because got Battison always starting to ruckus here at A main, and this has got FlyQuest sticking to their guns, kind of playing a more reactive style when it comes to A. This is where you can get, push comes to shove, and really get FlyQuest to make errors when they have to react quickly like this. So Blue Water with middle control now.
Avery had no drone too, so I love that he backpedal from the B side instead of trying to go B right into the op.
Oh, Melia, they off the snake bite, and man, right into Blue Water. Oh, okay, throw the Hunter's Fury in, and Oasis is on an island with nowhere to go. That's how FlyQuest break the win streak.
Well, very nice from FlyQuest too, and in terms of forcing out early util from the side of Blue Water, trying to see if they could have some players from FlyQuest bite into the util that's being thrown early, so that Blue Water could try to punish into their angle holds, the default slow round that they were pulling. But once they realize here that they have zero map control on B side, and they're like, okay, we got to go for the Hail Mary. Let's just go for the dimensional, for the Cosmic Divide and try to hit towards that A site. And they were met with so much opposition because you still had so much util left for the side of FlyQuest. You waste any on the side of A. You're playing double controller for the stall between Thea and Melia, and that's been their bread and butter on that side. And how they want to set up here for FlyQuest. They keep wanting Edith to solo hold with the Yoru so that Jazzikins could fast TP and rotate towards the A site, but still have enough stall and firepower on both sides here to really not allow Blue Water to do any slow rounds. And I think Blue Water are starting to realize that too. I mean, they were just talking about it at the desk earlier on too from Athena. She was mentioning, hey, it's a double duelist comp that we have from Blue Water. Just hoping to see a lot of explosive hits coming out here from Blue Water with util supporting from behind that could really start thwarting the stalls here and the setups from the aggressive lines of Edith. So far, we haven't seen too much of that yet.
I like how the desk pointed out that this map can feel very deathmatchy, and I like how it's like, FlyQuest have won rounds without diffusing. It's just been straight up brawling it out, and these surprise spots just like this. Edith delivers another big first blood for FlyQuest. As impactful as ever, just like they were back on Pearl. As Blue Water had to pick themselves up by their bootstraps and keep on trucking, keep on swimming, and try to go towards the B site. And you're able to find Jazzikins. Have numbers, equal position, and off the smoke, the cross made. Stabilize Edith there. Kind of a crazy fight to win. That gets them to plant.
Spike planted.
And Oasis is pushed towards the arches. They're going to be able to hear Ev rotating across. Cotton drone, you are dead.
Be faster.
Ooh. FlyQuest have been outread and outgunned in these moments. Cosmic Divide from the defense to force Blue Water forward or back and to split them apart. And Melia playing with fire here. Won't have the jump up that they hope for, but he's going to at least react to this 1v1. And Oasis jumps out from the Cosmic Divide. Melia halfway on the defuse. And what a reaction to Battison. Oh my god, Melia. It's insane!
That is insane. That is a second flick coming out from Melia. One from a Vandal on that hero round that I talked about multiple rounds past. And then now a flick back with a Phantom right to the dome of Oasis. At 8 HP, by the way. What a shot. And a Red Bull clutch out from the controller. almost even star player pretty much for FlyQuest.
Last players.
Look at that isolation too. What a shot. And even the TP, I mean, you're trying to do whatever you can for a sound bait. It doesn't really matter that you popped it out in the open. You're just trying to break the crosshair placement. It was a nice play by Battison. Was such a quick flick back there from Melia. Edith cannot flick that one though.
Silver lining there for Blue Water that they have all 5 intact off of a contact play from Edith. Now they have their bearings. Blue Water cross B maybe yet again, but they have to address Jazzykins, who's watching A carefully.
And they've already identified gaps. Look at the ping. So despite them thinking, or you thinking as a spectator, that May has a timing on the top, it's already being pinged out. So they know what gaps to look at. And Jazzkin's just going to get this timing. They're never going to check this corner.
Oh, that's the
wall.
conflict divide comes down, just like on Pearl, but it favors Blue Water this time. Sin will get the best of Jazzykins, and that begins the flood into A as Edith could not stand a chance by themselves. Solid advantage to work with, and even you got spawn cutoffs. May goes for it. It's a home run, mostly. I guess struck out here by Melia. It's gonna let them know who's the boss of their spawn.
Yeah, this is a safe scenario for sure, but that is just unlucky for Jazzykins. Look at Oasis's HP on top of that, 30. You can almost feel that the audio cue comes out, and then from our screen, it doesn't look like the wall popped up yet, so it should have been a kill on 1, but somehow still saves Oasis at the last second. Time has been wasted to spray bodies, so Sin maybe could catch a timing here. She's actually looking towards the wrong area in the end. Might be able to save these 2 weapons now for FlyQuest and Blue Otter. They reset the tempo here. This is still going to be a good buy for FlyQuest in the next round by saving these 2 weapons. Because Edith could still buy an op, or they go full rifle, outlaw, something like that, so that everybody else could get rifles in full util. And we'll have to see what the buy is going to look like now. So the op does get invested. That might cause a lower buy for one of the players. Yeah, look at that replay. Just unlucky. Great reaction coming out from Blue Water right after, though.
This is the moment I want to point out. You said time wasted shooting bodies. Okay, fun police. Sometimes you have to play mental warfare, okay? Even if it's the grand final.
Oh, they are.
You gotta take your wins where you can.
I mean, Sin, like I said, Sin could have found the timing and punished them. I'm not being... Oh, wait, you know, there's almost a little Edith's gonna get a kill here.
Oh, barrel. Edith? Ooh, it looked collatable. That's a word I can just invent there. But Edith gets their 1. Oh, more often than not. I'm going to be looking forward to seeing the first blood stats from FlyQuest just off of Edith alone. And it's Blue Water have 2 chamber players too, so it's not like they're allergic to bringing that agent out, but just sticking the more traditional comp.
If you get to invent words, I want to invent words as well. So right now we also have Ev on a full rotational back towards the A site where they have the 3 stackies.
I like that, stackies. Makes it cute, but will it be cute after this? Because just think by forcing Thea into some barrels and Blue Water. Shots that ring true. Jazzykins is going to be a nuisance here. Blue Water going to watch carefully.
Stay alive, keep them pinned.
Push her luck. Yeah. Jazzykins going to deny their escape towards main as Blue Water now.
Perfect.
They're able to answer. Great pick from Edith. Now Avery, this is where they look the best, but man, Edith trades at the perfect moment. And FlyQuest are keeping it as close as they can.
There was a chance too, as much as they got that pick, forcing Battison on a reposition and punish them. After they flooded back towards that site, they all went in different directions where Avery in those moments could definitely shine. I was getting worried for a second there, especially if the knock shot missed. That one didn't miss in the front. And they were a little bit better here on the trades on that backside battle here. It was usually been Blue Otter's battles that have won towards the A site plant in these chaotic moments. But they always needed a clutch to come out towards the end. Last round of the half, though. We do have Hunter's Fury. Maybe try to get the ult orb to do the Hunter's Fury with the dimensional drift from Battison, which is why you see FlyQuest trying to contest this.
That flash alone. Blue Water. Conditioned to just expect some aggression out of FlyQuest, and Jazzykin's knowing how close they were.
There's no stall here.
Dimensional Drift-In. I just wonder where Pattison is going to want to decloak the Hunter's Fury ping. We'll see what kind of work the arrow will do, but wait, FlyQuest! Just fight back! What happens when you corner a dog, and now you got the Viper's Pit right on the spike. But you have the drone from FlyQuest checking out the perimeter. Counter drone 2 from the offense. Avery try to watch the flank, but also any angle around this pit. Sin is going to step out and try to play off of Avery in a potential push past this Viper's wall. Zenith is just gonna wait. Oh, the dip away from the op. The barrel spotted. Sin hunts down 2. Is that enough for Avery? Keep the hopes alive in the final round of the half. Trying to get the shock bolts on the spike, and it's too little too late. FlyQuest will even things up going into the second half.
How the hell did we stay alive towards that back of the site, though, from Thea?
Switching sides.
And he got value with the smoke that got popped towards that back. I don't know what happened there because Thea was getting heavily pressured. I don't know if she had time to pop her own smoke down. I feel that maybe that was an attack side star that was supposed to be a stun, and maybe we misclicked. I don't know what happened there. But they stayed alive, and they got that pick, and that was not supposed to be a defendable round there for FlyQuest because the Viper was already towards that B site. Melia was not anywhere near to snakebite slow down. They only had 1 star towards that front. They had a weak side on defense on A, yet they still got that round for FlyQuest. That was an insane last round of the first half, and that helps build FlyQuest the confidence moving to the pistol round of this second half. Remember, this is still series point, championship point for FlyQuest. And for Blue Waters, it's starting to turn into dangerous waters. Here.
This is how you kick off your year if you're FlyQuest. To overcome that deficit, to overcome adversity, now to go in as a team. Pistol is so important. That snake bite right at the front door. The smokes too, the spam. FlyQuest will squeeze out, and Sin reacts accordingly. He is trying to swing back and forth. Let's Edith take the helm, and now FlyQuest have to battle tooth and nail through everything, through the fire and the flames. 2 versus 2. Avery's gonna wait for rotates to come in. Oh, you spotted the head on the right. Hell yeah. Trying to address one at a time and isolates it, and Avery. Better timing. They under pressure now at 19 HP. Has to survive with the spike. Whoa, the one tap is nasty. Your Avery stomping your direction. They 2 HP and a dream that dies at the hands of Avery.
It was so close. Thea is so good at pistol rounds. It almost shows that her experience through the CSGO days, sure, is probably playing pistol servers, USP only. And it shows, it brings out the ghosts so many times on pistol rounds and just connects with headshots nonstop, and almost was able to win that one on a 1v2. Like, look at this. They already had a 5 versus 3 advantage for Blue Water, yet you have instant trades and then heroic plays out of Thea. Look at that. That should have been, again, another one of those rounds where you're able to convert back here for FlyQuest and make it winnable. But they almost did. Blue Water, though, stays alive in this fight. They take the scoreline to 7.
Revealing area.
FlyQuest with the stack. Not too worried about the A site. This has been awarded to them now as have Avery in a passive position with a drone too that could check this out. Wanting to conserve that. Ooh, scary. But May is able to cut them off on the entry too. So FlyQuest take what space they have and may just try to run over Avery here, who's got a lot on their plate as a way to escape. And that leaves Oasis to emerge from A and kill them all from behind. Blue Water, I like that confidence.
And a very similar take in terms of Blue Water. They want to utilize range snipes, bolt action weapons to their advantages on the long range fights. Yet instead of going for like a Bucky around all of that, they went for full Guardian and martial outlaw. It was such a big investment too from Blue Water that the shots had to connect, and thankfully it did, and they did rather in terms of shots. And then now FlyQuest are going to play a little bit of a default round to try to activate Edith with the op. No armor. Avery with a guardian looking in from the tunnel.
Even with the crouch, it's not enough to save you, Edith. As accurate, precise as ever, delivering so many of these crucial picks for FlyQuest in the early round. Blue Water are used to picking up these pieces, and despite a lower buy, they've done some damage. It's all up to May. Solo with no mid-map presence, no B-main info. All up to May to do it on her own. It almost gets caught with util in hand. The drone already gonna harass her. The snake bite forced out her position. How much util can you invest in stop May? She still gets a kill out of that. So FlyQuest, it won't be for free.
Spike planted.
It will feel pretty certain.
Yeah, damaged player, but you still have Edith watching all the way back from the window. So all lanes are covered. Oasis is just trying to do some econ damage if she can.
Ooh.
I thought that hit.
Right
on
through
both
the bun,
sides.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, like the ponytail. What the heck? Crazy plot armor, but Sin is helping the retake.
Oh!
And
Wait.
the snake bite eats through Thea. Two versus two. The Blue Water comeback. Is it real?
No
Oasis is writing it to be true. The defuse is halfway. And now, cherry on top. I can't believe it. Blue Water gets away with it again.
What the hell happened there?
Damn right we're crushing it.
No, you're not crushing it. What the hell happened there? That almost felt again another one of those rounds where they get some early map control, they get some good spacing, and then they just give it all up. In that post plant, you have one watching the elbow and 3 players on site, yet somehow Sin is able to sneak through to get 3 kills. Yes, a snake bite on a low HP, but then after that, you catch one. I mean, you jiggle out on that side and you notice that nobody's on the spike. You have to make sure that somebody's going to try, that Oasis is trying to make a play. I don't know what the hell happened there, but...
Imagine if Edith would have hit that shot on Oasis. That round would have looked very different. Pressure makes diamonds, and Blue Water, they play really well in 3 versus 5 situations. By the way, this was a lot of pistols, a lot of stingers coming into this round for FlyQuest.
Hey, this is winnable. For Blue Water.
Winnable for Blue Water.
Yeah, it looks like you have one trying to lurk down towards the elbow too. That's Melia, making sure that nobody's going to be pushing down towards that spot. Finally, Sin walks up.
Blue Water got to get this done quickly. They're on the other side of the wall. Someone's on the defuse, and Avery kicks it off with 2. It's always Avery.
You got grapple.
Oasis has been found. A lot of delays from FlyQuest, and it's all over. But man, does it ever get close? And this was on such a low buy. Yes, actual thrifty from FlyQuest. Insane.
Oof. I think we're starting to see too, in terms of experience that we credited FlyQuest to, and the experience that we credited Wadada to, in terms of playing long BO5s. The first map going into overtime already, and yet we get into a third map where mistakes are slipping from the side of FlyQuest. Despite this being a round on a thrifty round for Fly, it wasn't as clean as it was from the entry to the hold in the pulse plan. I feel right now is how they're scaling on that map, on that site for the last 2 rounds. There's not enough backside control to prevent Blue Water from just flooding back from half wall into the pillar. We need to change that.
Oasis. Preventative measures. Gazikin's star has been dimmed. Hunter's Fury right through the choke. How do you dance against this, FlyQuest?
Spike down B.
Well, you pick a different tune, you pick a different site, and the spike is not with you, so...
Pick a different round.
Yeah.
Look at where those exits are, too. So one gets caught off. It's fine because it's Jazikin trying to create space, right? She TPs towards that site. She gets caught off guard by an updraft with Blade Storm. But then the rest, through all these smoke bubbles that were placed towards that front of that site, the disruption from the Hunter's Fury, and you're not able to scale on the ladder side towards that back of the site. They're always fighting towards that front. There's no wrap
They got the
around.
orb too for the cosmic divide. It's always nice to get. Deny at least the orb from FlyQuest. So is this going to be the map though that Blue Water can actually close out? Because they've been at
enemy remaining.
better leads than this actually, and FlyQuest still find a way to come back. So you're still on the edge of your seat if you're a Blue Water fan. I mean, obviously look at a series score would be enough.
You know this is going to be already difficult, though, for FlyQuest to have better executes on their attack side, too, because they're not playing with a jet that gets the full dash. You're not playing a Neon that covers up walls, so it's really like the Omen, just a TP out in the open, and hopefully there's util in the back, like Recon or something that is going to keep players back. They're going to try for another condition. Oh, my God, no.
Oh, thought it was secure, and there's an op greeting them at the front door. That is the opposite of what FlyQuest wanted. So they won't be able to leverage that ult. Still try to pivot into A. All rides on Sin and Battison, who already do a fantastic job of diminishing the options that FlyQuest have. And now just with pistols, this round feels pretty GG. This gets Blue Water up to 11, that much closer.
And that's a change from Blue Water, actually. You're still trying to condition FlyQuest to hit towards his B. FlyQuest, sorry, still trying to condition to hit towards his B side. They throw up a Cosmic Divide, but all of Blue Water disrespected that Cosmic Divide and played in front of it and just caught Jazzikins off guard. Then as soon as she falls, you realize that this has already been a fake because there's nobody behind that after that kill. So they've already able to readjust, get the players on the A site ready, and just capitalize on kills where FlyQuest loses timing on. Not necessarily timing, but just working with each other to work the mid round. They solo walk up with the spike into the mid double doors. The other two were still watching for a rotate into tunnel. Why is it two? Why is it Evan Edith when Edith has the duel de false already looking towards the tunnel? You need to have Ev going with, I think that was Thea, right? To trade off each other on that A side if you're trying to scale up for a contact play. I think you need to iron that out, making sure here as a coach, Joe, to talk to the team that this happens when the first phase of your attack plan gets thwarted. You still hold your fundamentals as a team.
FlyQuest gets so much out of these timeouts, and I'll keep saying it. Like, even their first timeout in about middle of the first half, it improved tremendously. They got 4 extra rounds after that. They're going to need a lot of extra rounds in the second half, because FlyQuest have only won 1 attacking round so far. This is despite having like a lot of first bloods from Edith. It's just Blue Water's defense at stopping them at the double doors and mid, and catch them crossing into B. Blue Water is so good at controlling the perimeter.
They just need to make sure that they get a little bit more mid control, because they're not doing that for FlyQuest. They are so far slamming B, getting stopped every time, and just running into a brick wall every time. Now you're starting to see the default happen a little bit more, and by controlling that middle, you're now forcing the hands of players to play towards the extremities, where hopefully Melee could punish one there if that does happen, that they get this pick here.
Ooh, Edith versus Oasis. Okay. FlyQuest able to just ignore that, at least mark where the op is, and go in its opposite direction. Now throwing out the drone to see where that op was positioned. As Sin already marking one down.
There's the punish on a main.
FlyQuest was trying to get looks. Ooh. And the options are dwindling for FlyQuest. 3 versus 5 now for their attack. It's not getting any better after this timeout. Just get Evan to a Hunter's Fury position on the post plane. You would feel assured, but I would just be surprised if FlyQuest could plan at all. 3 versus 2, they could try to just outnumber the
30
site,
seconds
but
left.
Not a second time. Not a second time, man. Well, Ev is still having fun. That's what you're talking about. You know, you could still have some fun here while still losing 7-11.
1 enemy remaining.
12 seconds left. This Ev will get away with the plant here. There's a double swing. And the finish here from Battison. Blue Water may just force another map here very soon, and based on the trends that we're seeing, I would put my bet on it.
And that's just two beautiful impact kills from May in that round. As we were just talking about, try to create a diversion here towards the top and middle. You see that Melia tries to find her timing towards A main. It almost works out because that would have been an overextension from May in front of that smoke. Suddenly, she still flicks to get that kill onto onto Melia, and still decides to walk a second time in the smoke where nobody's going to expect that. And you can't drone because one, you don't have it. But even if you still have it, you can't drone into main because you can't give your position away. You have to play contact. So you don't expect the player to play inside that smoke. You get caught off guard. And now May is able to put Blue Water comfortably at map point to try to push this to a fourth map.
This Viper's wall is so annoying to try and just get through. A lot of teams are forced to use util just to clear this point. It gets you on edge if there's like a jet or something lingering, but now the dimensional drift will simplify things for Jazzykins and friends with the Hunter's Fury to follow suit, and Sin just gets a kill off the snake right at the front door, but punished as a result. Hunter's Fury at least gets one. FlyQuest throwing the clone in Blue Water's face, who will stick to their guns behind box. Now a counter dimensional drift, this time from Madison.
No.
Gets looks on mid, and even with that informational advantage, Avery gets surprised by Melia. FlyQuest will play at a distance, now losing a lot of this space. Jazzykins will be the one to protect the spike with the judge, while Blue Water face adversity head on. They get crunched from all sides. FlyQuest will vanquish this round.
I don't even think they had the advantage of the info from that ult, because I was watching them pathing from the mini map, and I saw that they went through the double doors, but not deep enough to clear where Melia was walking up. So as you see the rotate coming through from Avery, they get caught off guard, and it's a simple kill. Melia able to rotate back towards the main, get the snake bite up towards that ground, and that was just a fake check from the dimensional drift. That was so costly. That's a big ult that's out of the equation, but now they need to turn this around for FlyQuest. If they could stop here, this hit that's going to come out towards A main from Blue Water, they could punish that and reset the econ in terms of ult for Blue Water. They might stand a chance.
Oh my god, Oasis is just taking over. Jesus. FlyQuest down to 3, make it 2. Melia and Thea have to try and get the spike through the pit. Thea will find a safe corner. No, is going to try and fight through when the spike down, hoping the trade is there. Melia's got her back. Now in a 1v3, they'd like to have that teammate card, but hey, Viper Spit will be your teammate.
Yeah, but why is it Thea walking into the pit first? Melia had the timing on the backstab to get it, and unfortunately, they don't time that perfectly, and they lose the map.
Thought she would have played in the pit. That was an awkward ending. 13-8 for an exciting continuation of the series, at least. Blue Water take Breeze, which is FlyQuest's choice of map.